Hello, 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 everybody. I'm really excited to be here with you today because I have a pick a card reading that is focused on creativity, and I'm going to be shuffling the cards as we speak, as we go here. I'm going to shuffle and interpret the cards once I start working with the piles. I'm really excited because I was not going to do this reading today, but it's full moon energy and I'm probably going to post it tomorrow. I just heard that I had to convey this message related to creative people all over the world, and I had to convey this message related to creativity. So if you are working with the arts, if you're working with any creative endeavor, if you have a project coming on and you want to know how to deal with it, this pick a card reading is for you. But also, if you're trying to bring more creativity into your life, if you're trying to understand how to open up some space, maybe organize your finances, maybe just express yourself a bit more creatively, this pick a card reading is for you. I'd like to say that creativity for me is a huge part of the spiritual work, the spiritual path. For me, creativity is what God or the goddess, as I like to envision this bigger force, this higher force, is, okay? Because we're talking about the great creator. No matter which shape or form you'd like to imagine this great creator to have. So a force that is such a huge creative force can never be against our creative endeavors. I think that we're here to create, and we're here to be happy, and we're here to be artistic, even if we're not actually working in the arts, okay? So this pick a card reading is really special for me, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Of course, there's always the reminder that these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. What I have here is option 1. Okay, these are 3 paintings that have all been done by members of my family. So they are also reminders that we could and should always have artistic means of artistically expressing in our everyday lives, no matter if we're working directly with the arts or not. What we have here are 3 naked frames that have been created by my brother, my daughter, okay? And this is option number 1, this is option number 2, and this is option number 3, okay? Option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, and if you had the time to select, now we're going to start with the reading for option number 1. If you want to open your third eye chakra and your intuition for higher purposes, in order to be more in tune with your spiritual purpose here on earth, then something you can do is to get an amethyst crystal and place it right on your third eye, okay, the positioning of your third eye, and just breathe in and out slowly, as you imagine that there's this purple light that's coming from your third eye through the rock, through the crystal, okay? And this is actually going to help you open your third eye more. And I don't know why I had to tell you that, but I think that if you've chosen pile number 1, it's really important for you, and maybe you're already trying to do that, to relate your artistic endeavors to whatever your intuition is telling you to do. I also see here that you are trying to manifest like the first buds of whatever you're trying to do creatively. You can clearly see them, okay? Maybe you have already started, maybe you can already see some fruits from your artistic labor, whether you're working on the arts or you're only trying to be more creative in a profession that's not normally considered artistic. But I believe all professions are creative and artistic in a certain way. We're all artists, okay? So either you already know where you want to go and how you want to be more artistic and creative in your life, or you are already seeing the first, but it's not flourishing yet, and maybe you feel a bit anxious about when it's going to actually present the fruits. Your labors, your labor is actually going to show some fruits, okay? But you're on your way, and then your intuition is going to help you a lot. And if you believe in that, and you can work with your third eye chakra, I really think this could help you. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to tell you. I'm going to leave the painting here so that you can focus a little on what I've just said, and just move these crystals here while I shuffle the cards from the Timeless Flux Oracle and see what they have to tell me about you. Okay. Okay. First card I've got here is the mind root, okay, or head root, wherever you prefer. And then I've got spawn, moon spawn, and then I've got new me. Okay, so I can see here that whatever you are manifesting, whether by trying to picture it clearly, I see that you already have an idea about what you want to manifest creatively, artistically. Whatever you're trying to do is really necessary in your life. So whatever you already have in mind is what you need to create, because the question was, what do you need to create right now? And I think for this pile, you already have a clear idea on what you want to create, and maybe some of you have already given the first steps in order to manifest that, okay? And you are in different levels. For some of you are already a little bit more advanced and you see these buds, but your projects are not maybe flourishing to the rhythm you would like them to flourish, okay? But you can see that your work is giving some results, maybe not up to your expectations, and then that's why you really need to focus on monitoring your thoughts right now, because I think you came to this reading because you were in need of a confirmation of some sort, that what you're trying to do creatively is what you really need to be doing right now. And with this card here, you see I have this woman, and she has planted her head on the ground, and because of that, she's branching out. She has lots of different opportunities. So it is not that you are going to be following the path that you've envisioned is good and you should follow it. But if you can keep negativity out of your thoughts, many other paths, many other possibilities that are connected with the project that you are undertaking right now, or that you're thinking about undertaking, many other opportunities, avenues, paths are going to open themselves up for you. But it depends on how you're going to deal with your thoughts on the subject. The fact alone that you're here on this reading and you are searching for confirmation on whether you should pursue this project or not, it kind of shows me that you may be lacking in self-esteem as an artist, as a creative person. This side of things may be a little difficult for you to trust. Okay, that's why it's so important for you to work with your third eye chakra and listen to intuitive messages, okay, to your intuition. Now let's see why you have this problem. Okay, everything is turning, everything that you try to do is turning well for you, okay? Maybe not under the rate that you're expecting, the success rate that you expect, but everything is turning well for you. I think that you're afraid of success, maybe, or maybe your intuition is telling you that that if you move too quickly, you have these expectations, and you have this clear image on where you want to go, and you have these expectations that maybe things should move faster than they are actually moving, okay? Maybe you want to do more than you're doing right now. And your intuition is telling you that you could be really successful, okay? And maybe that's why, let me see. Yeah, that's why you're afraid of listening to your intuition at this point, because for some reason you are afraid of success. And when I tell you that, what I mean is that maybe you have associated negative qualities to the kind of success you're looking for when you think about this creative project, okay? For example, maybe you think that this is an idea that can make you a lot of money, and you have negative beliefs, negative concepts, maybe some past traumatic experience related to money. So of course you are going to have some kind of resistance to putting yourself out there the way you'd like to, because you are afraid that you're going to generate money. This could be beliefs like rich people are bad, things like that we hear as a child. I've heard that, okay? Or they are not humble, or they are not spiritual. And it seems to me like you're a very spiritual person, like you're always trying to improve yourself. And you see that this project, whether you see it consciously or I see here that your intuition is sending you messages, these signs, these views, maybe you're dreaming about it, that your project, whatever you're thinking about doing, could really be successful. And then I see some fear of following through, okay? Some kind of blockage related to that. And I believe that part of that is related to difficulty you have in understanding that your origins, but in terms of spiritual origins, you are actually, as this card shows, a spawn of the moon, a son or a daughter of the moon, which means that right inside of you, you have everything you need in order to communicate with immense and infinite inspiration, intuition, magic, whatever you need to create. You have been made for that. This is what this card is saying. And once you get a clear perspective on that, or at least clearer, then you won't be scared of organizing your thoughts, okay, and dealing with whatever blockage on money or success you might have, and start branching out. Because once this blockage goes away, you start branching out and seeing that not only what you've been thinking so far is very good, but now that you don't have these blockages anymore, you can see even further, and you can plan even more, okay, and based on a different perspective. Because this card says, I came from the moon, so now what? You're planning under a completely different perspective. You know that in your origins, you have everything it takes to just express intuitively, and you will never lack resources to do that, okay? Now let's see why it is so hard for you to see that you have this kind of spiritual origin. Okay. Well, what I see here is that you need to undergo, and you will undergo some kind of transformation, okay? The death here does not represent physical death. I think you know that. But you need to go to some sort of transformation. That's why it confirms that you have some sort of belief. And here I have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So you have some sort of blockage related to money. I think that it is so hard for you to see yourself as this creature here that's eager to explore life with with his or her hands. It's actually a genderless figure with his or her hands on top of a wall, and these walls representing the threshold between the spiritual world and the physical world, which is actually the position of an artist, okay? Because you're trying to materialize these things that are not here yet, okay, but you're trying to bring them to the world, to bring them to fruition in the end, because you can see them clearly, but then you're able, because you have your wings and because you recognize your divine origin, you're able to bring them to the world, okay? But I think that it is hard for you to relate with this kind of image about yourself, because you think that whenever people rule based on money or based on material things, they become I don't know, this kind of ruling is negative in some way. Or success, material success, is negative in some way. And you know that this idea you've been developing is probably going to make you it's going to make you solvent, it's going to make you wealthy, is going to bring you at least a lot of material security. So while you're afraid of that, for as long as you're afraid of that, it will be hard for you to advance on this project. And you're right to think it is a good project. You're right to believe that this project could have a bright future. And I'm telling you that this project is also going to be responsible when you undertake it for a lot of material security, okay? But you need to change your belief system regarding money, regarding the material aspects of life, regarding success. There are a lot of negative beliefs related to success. And this card tells me that this is probably related to past experiences. Maybe you know people, maybe you even know an older woman, okay? I can see that for some of you. An older woman in your life, it could be your mother, okay? The person responsible for ruling your house, but not for all of you, of course. There are many people watching. But an older woman, that could be your mother, that could be a motherly figure, that could be a friend, that deals poorly with success and money, that uses her status and her financial wealth or her prestige to humiliate other people, to manipulate other people. And maybe you have been manipulated, you have been abused by this person, so you'd never like to become this person. I see you here confronting past versions of yourself, past experience, and thinking, how can I ever do something creative that's going to put me in a position of becoming the person who tortured me, who abused me? Okay, I don't want to be this kind of person. But what you need to remember is that there's no balance in this kind of thinking, because in the end, you are not going to be as merciless. You are not going to be as cold as this person was. You're coming to this project from a place of love. You're coming to this project, and I can see that you are willing to organize your mind, okay? You're willing to plant your head around this project and monitor your thoughts so that this project moves on. But I can also see that this is like there are several tips for you guys here. I have already said in the introduction that this doesn't have to be an artistic project. It doesn't have to be about the movies, about painting, about this kind of success or artistic endeavor. But whatever you're doing that is creative, that is artistic in a sense, there are tips for you here. First of all, you are in the right direction. This is exactly what you should be doing. And the rhythm, you're worried about the rhythm. Some of you are worried that you have not started yet, and others of you are worried that maybe you have started, you have taken some steps in the direction of this project's completion or start, but the results are not good enough. They are not meeting your expectations. So the tip here is, first, this project is good. Second, the more you clear up your head, and that's why working with the third eye chakra is so important for you guys. The more you clear up your heads, the more this project will gain in speed, okay? This is up to you. You need to just decide that you are going to shed any negative beliefs regarding success, regarding money, and in regards to this past situation that could involve this woman here, that could be your mother or motherly figure, something like that. In regards to this past situation, you need to really examine yourself and the person you are now, and understand that you're coming from a place of love. When you start this project, you're coming from a completely different place. You're not coming from the same place this person was coming when he or she, probably she, used wealth, used success, used prestige to manipulate you or to manipulate others, okay? So she or he is not your true model. These people that may have affected or influenced your beliefs regarding money and success, they are not your models. You have to be your own model or search for new models. And but what I see here for you is getting in tune with your own intuition, because it has what you need to know about this project, whatever that is. And the Oracle of the Goddesses, okay, oh, this is so connected to what I was talking about. It has the woman of a corn, and it talks about nurturing, okay? It talks about food. But this food is food for the spirit, okay? So I can clearly see now that you had some past models that you're still bringing with you whenever you consider your creative endeavors. And that's why you're so afraid of success, of continuing your journey, of the idea that you know, that you've sensed that this project can actually be very, very successful and bring lots of material stability, material comfort and security, okay? These models are based on other people in your life, or maybe people even that you see on TV, on movies, what you hear about the lives of actors and actresses that have material wealth, that are successful, and that maybe have attitudes with which you don't agree, okay? And you don't want to become these people. For some of you, I see the situation I've explained before, but this is not for all of you, in which there is an actual person, an actual woman, a motherly figure that has used money and prestige to humiliate you and to abuse you. So you don't want to become this kind of person. And that's why you're so afraid of success. But I'm telling you, it is key for you to unlock this trauma, to overcome this blockage. And you're only going to do that by confronting the fact, and this you can do. You can do that by listening to your intuition, because they're sending you signs, but also through meditation. Okay, you need to meditate on the fact that these people that you are observing, these people that maybe have abused you, or this person, they are not. They didn't come from the same place you're coming, okay? They were not expressing their heart's true desire. They were I'm going to even take an extra card for that. Okay, they were just exploring the fact that they had they didn't feel that they had this much security. Maybe you looked up to them and felt that they had all of this money, all of the security. Maybe if this was a childhood situation, maybe by now you know that they weren't this solid in terms of wealth or prestige or power. But maybe if you were a child when this situation happened, for you at that time, they seemed really powerful. So they became this model that it's hard to deconstruct even now. Even now, when you're more mature, okay. But the fact is that they were coming from a place in which they were also not so sure about themselves in terms of success, and they had to prove it over and over again by through competition. Okay, they always had to test how wealthy or how famous or how successful. They always had to inflate their ego through competition, and that's why they abused you. That's why they needed to make you feel smaller than they were. Okay, I know that you don't want to do the same, and I can tell you that you are not going to do the same, because you are a person that's based on solid foundations of work, okay? Integrity, on honoring your values, on honoring what you believe in. You're based on solid foundations for each one of your actions. So you're not coming from the same place. This project you're thinking about is solid, but you need to shift your beliefs regarding money and regarding success, because this project is going to be highly successful for what I see here, whatever you're thinking about. And if you work with your intuition and you are able to center your mind around it, it's even like this picture is even like grounding your mind, right? Deciding that this project is going to be a priority of yours, and preventing intruding thoughts from entering the sacred space that you're creating for this project to inhabit. Then not only what you're thinking about right now is going to move at a speed that you cannot even imagine, okay? But also you're going to see this project branching out and reaching heights that you are not able to suspect right now, okay? So I hope this message has helped you. Please leave comments in the comment section if you like it, if you didn't like it, if it resonated or not, okay? And if you are enjoying the videos, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and also to like this video, okay? Because we're starting here, and all of your support is really important for us to keep on the good work, okay? Bye-bye, pile 1, and now I'm going to pile 2. Hello, people who chose option number 2. If you skipped the introduction, then you didn't see that I'm going to shuffle the cards right now as I'm reading and as I'm talking to you, and also that I always read the tokens that are available for selection when I'm doing this pick a card reading. So for you, what I see here is lots of fire, lots of passion, okay? Whatever you're trying to manifest is really something that you're passionate about. But I also see some kind of dark energy that has been the background of your life, or is the background of your life right now. And I see that with these green leaves here that are not actually so evident, but that really contrast with the background and with all of the red. With these green leaves, I can see that there's a healing process going on, right? Because you have this background of sorrow or maybe negative energy that could come from anger, repressed anger, okay? But you also have greens that symbolizes healing, which is what's making all of this anger, all of this sadness, all of this negativity turn into this beautiful branch on fire. Okay, it's like everything that's ever happened to you that was not good, that was not something that came from the light, is what I'm hearing. Okay, it's turning into light, because we also have white here, right? Because it's catching fire with your passion. You're turning your grief into your passion. You could be a healer of some sort. You could be a psychologist who learned about the human mind because you wanted to deal with your own personal problems better. You could be an artist that just drops every one of your problems, or everything that's every heavy emotion on the canvas, on a screenplay, or you could just be expressing or considering to express all of your negative feelings, all of your negativity through artistic work or healing others. Okay, but I see that whatever you're thinking about doing or already doing, and I'm going to check on that with the oracle cards, whatever it is powerful, because it comes from your own experiences, and it also heals you. Whatever you do is not only going to heal other people, but it's also going to heal you. Okay, so let's see what the cards have to say. I'm going to shuffle some cards from, let me leave the painting there for you to meditate on what I've just said while I shuffle the cards here. These cards from the Timeless Flux Oracle. I'm going to ask for 3 cards, and the first card is, okay, this card, because I'm putting these cards back on the deck. Okay, so we could have some repeated cards here, and this card was already here for pile number 1. I think this card is very important for artists, actually, so maybe that's why it's coming. It's coming again and again. But for you, I want to immediately have some clarification from the Tarot de Marseille, because I think your situation is a bit trickier, maybe. Okay. Okay. So, and then I'll just keep on shuffling if I feel that I need more. Okay? Wow. So you have some good cards here, I can tell you that, but you also have some challenges. Your situation is complex, my friend. Sorry guys, I got cut, but I'm back. And what I see here, your situation is a little different from pile number 1, and a little more tricky, I think, when it comes to what you need to create. You're actually trying to heal yourself when you're creating. But what I see here is that you're trying to bring something new to the world. That's clear here. But for some reason, it is very hard for you to focus and organize your day-to-day activities in order to find the time for this creation. Okay, and let me see if I can get something on what kind of creation this is. Yeah, you could be dealing, let me put it here so that you can see. You could be dealing with you're actually trying to overcome through whatever that you're going to do, that you're trying to do. You're trying to overcome some past sorrow. You're trying to, so it speaks directly to what I was talking about when I read the picture frame, okay, the painting. You're trying to overcome some kind of past sorrow, but it was something that first and foremost you need to understand that whatever happened was not your fault. So maybe for some of you this was an accident with consequences that were very hard to deal with, and in this case maybe you know this was not your fault, but even with accidents sometimes we end up believing they were our fault, due to some kind of misconception, or because it's the only way we have to deal with our pain. I'm hearing also that maybe for some of you, you can't stand thinking that this accident, whatever happened in your life, this sorrow, you can't stand thinking that this was your fault anymore, and that's why you're resorting to more creative endeavors. I said in the beginning that some of you could be psychologists or some kind of healer in a less traditional sense, okay? So maybe you're actually trying to do that, and this is something that you're starting now. This is not something that you've been doing for a long time, or at least this is not something that has already developed to this full potential. But I really see for most of you, it's something that is beginning, it's starting, okay? You have started that because you wanted to stop feeling as if whatever happened was your fault, okay? And it really is not. So if you need a confirmation for that, it really is not your fault. Spirit is giving this message clearly here for me so that I can tell you. For some reason, it is very hard for you to organize your life on your behalf when it comes to work, when it comes to activities. And this could also mean, let me confirm that, yeah, things are foggy. Things are, when it comes to organizing your routine, things are a bit confusing, a bit foggy, because you need your intuition in order to work with anything that is creative, with art, with healing others in a creative way. But because of this pain, it is very hard for you to see the work that you're trying to do as something valid. I sense that there are other things in your life that are taking your energy away, sucking on your energy. And these are not necessarily people. These could be just consequences of whatever happened, okay? And that was not your fault. I'm repeating that because this is really a strong message for some of you. I think some of you really need to hear that, okay? But you're dealing with the consequences of what's happened, and these consequences could be physical, they could be mental, in the sense of maybe you're traumatized by that, and you need to respect your time in dealing with whatever happened, because even if you're trying to artistically or creatively overcome whatever happened, because you're so sick and tired or of feeling guilty about what happened, and you shouldn't, there's a time of healing you need to respect, okay? And that cannot be rushed. That's why there's a recommendation here that you should look for refuge. You should go into sanctuary. You should find this little house in the woods here where no one is going to, get in your way. And you should really take some time to think about your project, think about what you're trying to do. If you have already started, then maybe you should just take your time right now. Maybe it's not possible to stop whatever you started, but even if it's for a couple of minutes, because of course sometimes it's hard to go to an isolated cabin, but this is only a metaphorical image. You need time alone. You need time to think about the situation. You need time for yourself, okay? You need time to heal, and you're only going to heal once you accept, and this is the same card that came out for pile number 1, once you accept your true divine origin, once you accept that you are moon spawn, once you accept that you have what it takes, and that the same foggy context in which you are right now, you can't really see how to organize your life around this project. You don't know exactly how to really, what I see here is confusion on how to organize your day-to-day routine in order to fit this project in, how to deal with it, it's hard to deal with it, but it's hard to deal with it because your motivation, which is very noble, is to overcome this tragedy, whatever it was, this accident. Okay, I see something really really sad or really difficult to overcome happening to you, and I feel this energy quite strongly here with me now. Okay, very dark, and I'm sorry about that, I have to say, but that's why it's so hard for you to organize the practical aspects of moving on with it. And you really need to respect your time. You really need to respect yourself and to find refuge and solace in the fact that it was not your fault. And this project is going to come out once you know or remember that that you are sacred, that you have your wings, and that you can crown yourself the son or the daughter of a higher version of yourself that's learning to take its first steps again. Okay, a creature that's filled with joy and blessings, and most of all, intuition. Okay, this is what's going to lead this passion, because this is something you're passionate about. I can see it here, but at this moment you're a little afraid of getting carried away by your passions, or with your passions, and organizing your life around something that you're passionate about. So this could be a situation like that. Imagine you suffered an accident, and this had physical has led you to a situation in which you now have some physical constraints, or you need to recover from this accident by making use of strong medication. This is one of the scenarios I'm seeing. Okay, you want to make something that's going to help people overcome situations similar to yours, and this is very noble. Okay, similar to the one you're experiencing. You want to help people, never to you don't want anyone else to suffer what you've suffered. Basically, that's it. Okay, but this is something that you can only do if you organize yourself and if you heal yourself. I'm not even going to say if you heal yourself first, because I think that this is going to be simultaneous. This is going to happen simultaneously. Okay, while you do this project, you're going to be healing more and more and more, and you're going to help other people heal too. Okay, but in order to do that, you need to organize things practically. And this is not yet the moment to organize them practically, I hear. You need to go into refuge, and you need to organize things better in terms of how you feel. Meditate about how you feel. Organize your thoughts first and your emotions first, and then the next steps are going to get clearer to you. Okay, and you need to respect your time. Because only when you see your value again, and only when you understand that nothing that happened was your fault, you will be able to make a plan which is based on your heart, on your true heart's desire. Okay, an open space for that, an open space for giving and receiving again. Okay, so it's not that you have to be fully healed in order to proceed with this project, but at this moment, if you have already started, you need to you need to take a step back and really regroup, because it is too hard. If you have already started, I see that your everyday life is a bit confusing, because maybe you were anxious about starting because this became a way of dealing with this accident, whatever it was, and the guilt you felt related to that. You wanted catharsis in some way, so you started. Okay, for some of you, I see this scenario, and now it's very hard because you're still healing from whatever happened. Okay, so take your time. Take your time, respect your time, meditate on what happened. Try to accept that it was not your fault. And then you heal more and more as you put this project forward. And I also see here that you gained some knowledge in this process. And now you have to apply it, okay? Whatever happened to you, because I'm talking about an accident, and I've even given the example of something physical, because I really see that for a lot of you, this could be the case, okay? But it could also be, for some of you, I'm hearing that, it could be that you simply had a relationship in which things went south, or a relationship in which someone promised something to you and was never able to fulfill this promise, or any kind of very, very heavy energy that you had to deal with. But I feel that for most of you, it was an experience that involved some kind of tragedy, in the sense that it was unexpected. You see here, this lightning bolt comes and simply destroys your tower, and because of that, yeah, you end up in this position here, and you're very strong, because instead of simply resuming to doing nothing and believing that your life is ended, you decide to do something creative about it, and something that involves healing other people and preventing other people from undergoing the same thing that you've undergone, okay? So, but I see that this situation has taught you a lot, and now you want to share this knowledge with the world, okay? Maybe you're not so sure about how much you know, but if you need confirmation about that, you know a lot, and enough to help a lot of people, okay? More than enough. Because once you start sharing what you know and what's already systematized, then Spirit is going to join you and start sending you more insights on how to share even more. And not only that, you're going to have a period of time in which you need to actually wait to see the fruits of your labor, because of the situation in this project. You're healing yourself from whatever happened, and at the same time trying to heal others. And healing is something that you cannot do in haste, has its own pace, okay? So this project is not something that's going to immediately become something self-sustainable or easy to deal with in material terms. You actually need to put on a lot of effort in order to see it through, okay? But I see that after this initial struggle, all of your concerns, all of your conflicting thoughts related to your guilt and blame on this accident, they are going to disappear. And not only that, you are going to see possibilities of expansion for this project. This project is going to become not only about your pain and suffering, but it's going to become about something more, about something that you cannot see right now. And that, let me see if there's something. Yeah. This project is going to become about how people can find the strength to be their own person and to meditate. Well, I see here that you could actually be a healer and a psychologist of some sort, a therapist of some sort. You could be someone who teaches people how to meditate. You could be someone who teaches people how to take this refuge that you're so in need of right now. I see a situation here kind of like, I had to learn this because I went to something terrible. And now I just want to use what I've learned, but I'm a little bit afraid of whether I know enough to teach, to help, to enter a creative endeavor using my knowledge. And then there's confirmation here that you actually need to be creating that, and that you actually know enough. And the more you do, the more you know, and your blame, your guilt is going to disappear in the process, because you're going to teach people how to meditate, how to go within themselves to find their own answers. You will learn how to do that, and at the same time teach how to do that. But don't forget that you need to do that. This is the message, okay? Don't forget that at this moment you need refuge, because things seems to be a bit chaotic whenever you think about this project and how to organize it in your personal life. And don't forget that you need time to heal from whatever happened to you. Don't be so anxious about moving with things too quickly in this creative endeavor. Remember that, let me close this a bit to show you. Remember that whatever starting, it's filled with fire and with passion, and it's actually happening in this context of great sorrow and darkness, but it's bringing healing little by little, and it's beautiful. You see, this is a beautiful painting. I at least think it is, okay? So it's beautiful. It doesn't have to be professional. Like, this painting is not professional. It can be a bit amateur, and it can be like, I've meditated a little and then I teach a little of what I know, and then I know more and then I teach more, and I learn as I go, okay? It can start small and then it's going to become something big, but you need to respect your time. Let's just see what the Oracle of the Goddesses has to say about that. Oh my God, it's the same card that I had for pile number 1. And I shuffled, I swear to you guys. I also think this card is very important for artists. This is, well, such a reading. It's the woman of the corn, and it talks about food. It talks about nurturing, okay? But it's actually food, you see. She's also reminding you, but this is a different context here so than it was for pile number 1. So she's actually reminding you that you need to look for opportunities to feed yourself. But in your case, what I see here that you need is time, quality time with yourself, in order to meditate and to accept that you are not to blame for whatever happened to you, and you can actually use whatever happened to you to heal others, whether it be through pieces of art, through expressions that are going to help these people, being a more traditional or less traditional kind of healer for the mind, for the body, for the soul, okay? Whichever way you want to express this healing. But in order to do that, you have to feed yourself, and feeding yourself right now is going into refuge, finding your cabin in the woods so that you can sort things out mentally and spiritually, okay? I hope this message has been useful, and I really hope that it has given you some comfort, because I felt the energy here while I was reading to you, and whatever happened, at least for most of you, was, I know it was heavy and I know it was hard to deal with, but remember, you are this creature here, and you will once again find this kind of spark. The moment in which we are on the threshold between the spiritual and the physical world, we know we're coming from a place of higher intuition, and we just want to know, okay, now what? What am I going to do? Because I'm so divine. I'm a divine creature. I'm so inspired. I want to, you know, express myself and gain the world. I know this is not the place where you guys are coming from right now, because you need to feed yourselves. And feeding yourself right now is seeking solitude, okay? Somewhere you can trust, you can be yourselves, to think about everything that happened to you. So I really hope you've enjoyed your reading and it helped. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to move on to pile number 3, okay? Welcome, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you're here, you've selected this painting. It's one of my favorites, and it was it's a painting by my daughter, okay? And it shows this beautiful red. I like to see it as a red apple in flames. Yeah, these flames behind. And the first thing that comes to my mind, if you've skipped the introduction, I'm saying, I told people that I always read the tokens. Whatever I leave for people to select their piles, I always read messages that they bring me, because they tend to be connected to the reading. And what I see here is that this apple has a big heart, okay? And a big heart filled with passion that is the center of your life, okay? Now let's see what this heart is up to, because for me it seems like it's standing still. It is the center of your life. Everything that you do with your heart, from your heart, considering your heart. But for some reason, it's just, you know, posing at this time. It is not really being used, I hear. It is only decorative, and it's not in tune with your purpose. So let's see what's going on. What kind of message is that? Because it's strange, even for me, what I've just heard. And I'm going to shuffle cards from the Timeless Flux Oracle to see what's going on and what you need to create, okay? Oh, I have 2 cards. I think I'll have more cards for you, because I have 2 cards in one of the positions. I know why your heart is standing still and posing and so beautiful and the center of your life, but you're a bit stuck. So probably, oh my God, I have lots of cards for you. Normally I would have 3 cards, okay? But for you, and also just for you to know, I have repeated cards in this reading, because I'm shuffling and putting the cards back. I don't have pre-shuffled cards, so I have repeated cards for this reading. But I just wanted to explain, because I think this is really relevant. For the other piles, I had 3 cards. But when I was shuffling for you, I had 2 cards for like the first position, 2 cards for the second position, and 1 card for the final position. So intense, okay? I actually think that you came here today and you're interacting with this pick a card reading because you may be a bit lost on what to create. Because for the other piles, I had 2 situations in which people, in one case, they knew exactly what they wanted to create, but they had some issue involving this creation. And in the other case, they wanted to know, well, in both cases they knew more or less, they had some kind of direction in terms of what they wanted to create. And in your case, I think you don't know exactly. When you have interpreted the question like, what do I need to create, in the term, in the sense of Please tell me what I'm about to do, just like a vocational kind of question, okay? So I'm going to try to get in tune with some messages, some vocational messages, to see if there are any careers showing here or any directions showing here for you. And why is it that I see that? Because in the first position we have the cactus, and the cactus is a card that the sentence goes, I show nothing, I keep everything to myself, okay? I hold on to everything. And this cactus keeps everything to itself because the sun this is a blazing sun, and it represents some kind of fear of showing whatever you have inside yourself to the world. And you see, because it's kept whatever it is that is creative and rich and beautiful about itself inside for so long. Now it's kind of it has a completely different shape. You see, it's beautiful, but this has become an armor, okay? That's why I think that this apple here was so beautiful, but it was posing. You could be someone that's presenting a facade to the world, that's connected to aesthetics, that's connected to appearance, in the sense of maybe you like fashion, maybe you like Instagram, you like to have your selfies, you like you express artistically by taking care of your appearance. You could be this kind of person. I can see that for some of you. For others of you, maybe you already have some kind of artistic expression, but you feel that it's still superficial in relation to what you can actually bring to the world. But I see there's lots inside of you. Okay, there's a lot inside of you that you're not showing. You're like this cactus, okay? You're beautiful, but you're keeping everything to yourself. And I also see here, because here we have the pink rose, details become big, details shine bright. And this is usually a message from the universe. You have all of these green flowers and only one pink flower. This is a message from the universe, as you can see here. I don't know if you can read it well, but it says beyond, and it's the beyond saying hi. There's a little speech balloon here. So it's like spirit saying hi to you. And he's saying hi by telling you that you should pay attention to details, okay? But in this case, what I see is that you're actually not paying attention to whatever detail you have about you that makes you different from other people, which confirms a little the idea that right now you may be even showing yourself off in an artistic light. You may have, Instagram keeps coming back to me. You may have an Instagram account in which you experiment with photographs, with your own self-image, with I don't know, with maybe you even have a kind of a professional or influencer Instagram account, but you know that you could do something that's more in tune with your true self, or with your higher self. Maybe you need to turn this initiative on Instagram into something different, and you have already thought about that, but you don't know. You can't see how, or it's not clear for you it's not clear for you how to do it, okay? You don't feel safe about doing it, but that's because you tend to protect everything that is close to your true self. You're a very defensive person when it comes to your talents, okay? Let me see why you're so defensive when it comes to your talents. Okay, you're defensive when it comes to your talents because in the past you have tried to propose projects that were closer to your heart or closer to your true self, and you had to abandon them. Why did you abandon them? Let me see. Because you, because of some sort of mental conflict, this could be a mental conflict, or this could be conflicting opinions. Let me see if this came from other people. I don't see other people here. There could even be influenced by other people, but what I see here is that you were a bit concerned about money, or at least the material aspect of things. So it's like you don't believe that whatever you, that's why you're coming here, and that's why you're asking what I should do creatively, what do I need to create, because you don't believe that the ideas that you have are actually going to bring you material stability. Okay, you have tried some things that are closer to your heart in the past, but then there was some conflict when it came to money. They never seemed to, or at least you were afraid that they would never allow you to fend for yourself, to pay your bills, to achieve material security. But what I see here is that you never gave them enough of a try, you know, because there are some details about you. There are some very specific talents, and they could be different for each of you, that make you stand out in the crowd, and you're not actually use them to your full potential. Okay, whatever you're doing or whatever you're thinking about doing, this is not yet considering everything that you need to offer. Okay, let me see if I can get anything on Aries. Okay, Aries, give me Aries. You're a very creative person. I can see that you're a very, very creative person. Okay, even if you don't believe in that. Okay guys, so I got caught up here, and I had to stop, but I can see here for you something that areas that are related to some, anything that you can do with your hands. Okay, sculpture, I can see you doing sculpture, I can see you painting. I see you as someone who likes to, there could be people watching this video right now who like to interact with materials and extract a lot of energy, a lot of creative energy from these interactions. So you like to feel the textures of paint, and you can feel it, you can feel this kind of texture while using a brush. You like to feel the texture of whatever material you could use for sculpting. You like to maybe work with crystals, with rocks, you know, anything that you can do with your hands. Really, the texture of paper used creatively. You like dealing with textures, and I also see that you could be working with something related to luxury, something that tries to express abundance in an aesthetic sense. Okay, so you try to bring abundance and the beauty of abundance. So you could be into fashion, like I said, with the Instagram connection that came to me right at the beginning of this reading, as an influencer, as a fashion influencer. You could be someone who even tries to present different aspects of fashion, or different aspects of beauty. Maybe you like giving beauty advice, or you like creating on that. But I also see you, for some of you, this could mean working with your hands. Okay, and you're very, very creative people, but there's something here for you that's important to consider. You're actually not seeing what's your differential, what makes you different from other people. So whatever you're doing right now, you're still hiding yourself a lot, or whatever you're thinking about doing, and that's why you came here to this reading. That's why you're still watching this reading, because there's something about there's something about your past that has affected the way you see what's inside of you, okay? That has affected the way you judge what's inside of you. You don't feel like you have enough stability, enough emotional stability to present whatever is inside of you and still keep on, I don't know, still keep mentally sane is what I'm hearing. But you really need to observe details about your talents. So if you're going to do something, if you resonate with doing something with your hands, how is this craft going to be developed in a way that is totally yours, that's different? I see that being different is also important to you, and expressing creativity while collaborating with other people, be it because you need to work on a team, be it because you need to interact with an audience. I keep on listening to this Instagram, YouTube, social media thing, so this could be actually your thing. If you're already doing that, I feel that it's still at a superficial level, and that's why you're here trying to check if what you should create right now, because if you're already doing something like that, you're trying to find out how to go deeper into what you're doing. You know that you can do more and you can do more of yourself, but then you need to overcome this fear of showing what's inside of you, and you need to learn what's different about you. You need to pay careful attention to details that are important to you about who you are, because they're going to show your true talents and your true self, okay? Maybe some of the things, if you haven't started anything that you consider a creative endeavor yet, for some of you, I see that you're only considering all of the options, but you have not taken the steps to actually do something about that, to start your own creative endeavor. So if this is your case, then start looking for signs that are going to point you towards details in the works of art of other people, and also about your daily life, that are actually going to become the inspiration for whatever you do. And these areas I've been mentioning, they maybe resonate with you too, because I can see two groups coming to this reading: the group of people who doesn't know what to do really, and a group of people who is actually already doing something but feels that there's more to it, okay? But also I see here in the second position of your cards that that this is something that happened in your past, that could be a family issue or something that made you lose your emotional stability when it comes to artistic endeavors, okay? It's because as I was telling you before, you have tried to put yourself out there and present things that were more in tune with your essence, with your higher self, and you gave up on that. You left that behind because it was not considered to be well, you thought this was not going to bring you material security, is what I'm hearing, okay? But now it has come to a point in which, because you left these initiatives behind incomplete, because you gave up on them, it was like giving up on your dreams, and you really don't know how to move on without giving another shot to these dreams, okay? So for some of you, what I see is you have just caved in a little bit, and whatever you're doing right now does not express who you fully are. You are trying to operate as like a shipwreck survival, or even as something that gets lost once the ship after the shipwreck, you know, something that you cannot even recognize, and it's now there flowing without any direction, any specific direction. And it means that you left an important part of yourself behind, okay? And you were trying to do something that would bring you more money, and maybe it's not even bringing you more money, but it sounds more possible according to what other people think, or at least bring some money. And but it's not exactly what you wanted to do. It's not in tune with who you really are. So for some of you, I see that you caved in. And for others, what I see is that you didn't even start. But in any case scenario, it was very hard for you. It cost you a lot to give up on these dreams, because now you see like only partially yourself. You're trying to operate from a very limited version of yourself, like you see here floating in the ocean, okay? And also it made you become very connected to the material side of things, of whatever you do creatively, okay? And there's a message from Spirit here to you. You see these small blocks or squares here, but they are actually 3D, you see? The name of this card is the mystery. And the sentence goes, the mystery is what's between the blocks. Okay, so it's talking about how important it is for us to remember that form, actual form, matter, okay? What's concrete is not so important as inspiration. It is also important, but since you have a problem here of having left some dreams behind because they didn't seem financially or materially interesting, then this message here is clearly stating that you need to review this concept in order to find out, or to tune in, to make plans that are more associated with who you truly are. And I want clarification for that. Yeah, because you need to make a choice based on your true passion, and then you need to take the initiative to plan your actions accordingly, okay? And I see this happening to you because you're actually strong enough to do that. You're just a bit confused. You're just a bit confused and hurt because you had to leave your dreams behind. And you came here because you wanted to hear guidance or confirmation that you actually had to come back and to your dreams and vouch for them again and invest on them again. And because you wanted to hear someone telling you that it is okay for you to show again, try again to show what is essential to you, what's inside of you, and to express that in an artistic or creative way, okay? So you see, again, we have a choice based on passion, as we had in the painting, okay? Passion, but passion that is now still here, posing, okay? Nothing it's not transmuting, it's not converting into nothing. You're filled with passion, okay? And this is amazing. This is the basis for art, but you need to let go of this idea that you can only do things if they are financially interesting. Let me move the camera a bit. You can only do things if they are financially interesting. You can only do things if they are going to bring you money. Because in this, I sense that if you don't even have the proof that whatever you're going to do is not going to bring you the money. And let me ask about that. Yeah, this is only a mental conflict, okay? Maybe someone told you that you could never, maybe it was more a case of someone criticizing you, or a case of someone who at the very early stages of your earlier attempts, someone just criticized you for not thinking about the material aspects, money, etc. This could be a parent, this could be family members who did not encourage you enough to follow your artistic side, and then you for some of you, I see that you're still trying to follow somehow and be creative, but you know that you can do much more. And whenever you try to conceive a project that has your true heart in it, your true face, let's put it this way, you're a bit blocked because someone told you no because of these past experiences. Okay, but you have the strength to follow through, and your guide should be your passion. You have to decide, and you have to decide following your passion, okay? Because you have the strength to do that, and you don't have to consider whatever experience you had before. You're stronger now. This is something I see for both groups too. It's also important, and this is a card that also came for the other piles, it's also important for you to seek refuge, to seek sanctuary, to find moments in which you can be alone, productively alone, in touch with your higher self, in touch with your intuition, so that you can organize how this project is going to be it's going to be created, it's going to be manifested. Because if you go into refuge, and if you start the first movement of saying, okay, I'm going to take a day, some hours, I'm going to go to this cafe and start thinking about my project, my artistic endeavor, whatever it is, this is already the beginning of manifestation. Okay, because you are already dedicating time to yourself and creating a new life. The sentence in this card goes, there's always life beside real life. Okay, and it means that we tend to get caught up by whatever we call real life, and it's normally whatever we are already doing. Okay, it's the rat race. It's whatever we do to pay our bills, whatever we do to please others, whatever we do to please our family, and this is what we call quote unquote real life. Okay, but there's always life beside real life. There's always life on the side of real life, and you need to remember that in order to open some space for you to create this project. Okay, this is very important for all artists, but in your case, what's happening is that you need to open this space because you can no longer think only about the material aspect of things, and you can no longer think about your artistic endeavors from the point of view of whether they're going to bring you a lot of money or not. Okay, I can see also for some of you that maybe there is a person, an older man in your life, could be your father, a fatherly figure. And it's funny because for the other pile there was a motherly figure, but in your case I see for some of you a father. Okay, and I say for some of you because there are a lot of people watching, so take what resonates and leave the rest. But I see for some of you a father or a fatherly figure. Okay, that could be overbearing when it came to money, and then that's why maybe it made it more difficult for you to stand up for yourself and say, no, I want to do my project this way, even if it doesn't seem like this is going to generate me material security, because I know that this is related to my true essence. And I'm also hearing, I'm sorry because I'm hearing lots of things right now, I'm also hearing that there's a connection between your difficulty on taking refuge and this person or this energy here. What I see is that, and I'm going to get confirmation for that. Yes. What I see is that for some of you, it may be very difficult, but very, very difficult to go into sanctuary and to think about your project and to take this time for yourself, precisely because it is something that you need to, that you know it's the beginning of the manifestation of your true project, your true self, creating art and using creativity in this world in general. Okay, you know, it's very hard for you to set aside some time for yourself and for your creative endeavors. And this could be related to this father, this man, this older man, or this fatherly figure in your life that always said that you needed to be productive all the time. And productive in his vocabulary dictionary meant always make money. Okay, this was what he understood as emotional security. Maybe there was a confusion between emotional security and financial material security, and that's why it seems so unsafe, and you feel so insecure whenever you take some time to think about what's your true calling, or how to improve the project you already have, how to make it more in contact or more aligned with your higher self, because you know that you cannot stand it's very, I feel the energy here, and it's very hard to describe. It's very uncomfortable for you to spend time doing something that's not useful. And useful for you means profitable, okay? But you need to understand this is not a belief that comes for you. Even if you don't resonate with this idea of having a father, a mother, not a mother, sorry, this is a male figure, but a father or a friend, or maybe this was the person who judged your first endeavors, your first creative endeavors, and that's why you felt like you had to abandon them, okay? But what you need to remember is that this idea that emotional stability and emotional fulfillment is related to the material aspect of things, and that everything that you should do should be useful in a strict sense because it's bringing material stability. This idea is not yours. This is something that is being dragged from this phase in your life when you left your dreams behind, and for some of you, as I said, decided to cave in a little bit and even be creative, but not as creative as you could, and keep all of these dreams inside. For others of you, the relationship with this person and with these beliefs was so intense that you haven't even started whatever you were considering. And as I was telling you before, you have lots of possibilities here. I see some of you working with your hands. I see you that you like to interact with the texture of different materials. I see that for some of you, this is related to luxury. You could work with fashion. You could work as an influencer and trying to change the way influencers present themselves today and actually do good to people by leading them to a different understanding of certain ways in which beauty is defined nowadays. Maybe you're going to be the person who's focused on empowering men, empowering women, and fighting fat phobia, for example. I see that for you. But in order to work with anything like that creatively, you need to see details about you and your talent that are not necessarily useful in the sense of making money, in the sense of bringing immediate material stability. This is going to free you up, okay? Let's see what the Oracle of the Goddesses has to tell you. Let me shuffle the cards here. Oh my god, there are a lot of cards wanting to come. I am going to show you all of them. There were, my god, a lot of cards, and this pile is so funny. I feel that I read that as you really needed guidance. You were really like, what am I supposed to do? For some of you, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I had these dreams. I didn't. Maybe some of you even forgot that you had these dreams and that you left them behind. And for others of you, I see the situation of I'm not feeling my full creative potential. But I have lots of cards, you guys. I'm going to show you. I have abundance with Lakshmi. I have limits and reversed. I have pain. Oh my god. I have play. Okay. I have justice. So many messages. I have the wild woman. So many messages. They all fell down. They all fell from the deck here. I have crossroads. Oh my god. I have death and rebirth. I have love, Aphrodite, and I have maternity, motherhood, okay? Motherhood, sorry. So, oh my god, it's like all of the goddesses from different cultures are coming here to bless. Let me move the camera for you to see. To bless your initiative. But there's actually a message here. And it's very narrative. The abundance you seek, it's going to be achieved once you can define limits that are going to help you achieve this place of refuge, sanctuary, in which you can go alone and think about your life, meditate about what you're going to do, and observe details about your talent, okay? And this is what's going to help you deal with your pain, okay? And it's interesting because this is the card for pain, okay? It's a Mexican goddess, and this is the card for play. So what's actually going to help you overcome your pain about not knowing what to do and maybe having left these dreams behind is that now you're going to play. You have to start playing more with your creative gifts by observing the details about your creative gifts. And I really hope you understand this message, because it's really clear to me when I say that you need to observe the details about your talents. I mean, sometimes we have so many talents that we don't know what makes us different from other people, what's specifically ours. And the key to unlocking what's specifically ours is play, because the great goddess is going to communicate to us through fun, okay? If it's not fun, imagine, if it's not fun, you will not like to do it for the rest of your life. And the goddess, as I said in the introduction, if you skipped it, the great goddess is a creator herself. So she doesn't want you to create through effort. She doesn't, of course she wants you to work, but she doesn't want you to suffer. She doesn't want you to pay homage to effort. She wants you to play. Okay, so the gift that has to come out, whatever you need to do, whatever you need to create, needs to be fun, okay? And this fun, this play, this experimentation, maybe you need to experiment with many different things before you actually decide on what you're going to manifest, what you're going to bring to whatever you're already doing, or start doing, okay? But there's a moment before you even show what you're doing to other people that is a moment of experimentation. And if this message is here, it's telling me that normally you don't leave a lot of space for experimentation. So maybe you also need to go into refuge in order to decide on what you're going to do, but in order to experiment. And when you experiment, remember that you need to be fair to yourself, which means you need to consider that anything that you're going to do, or anything that you do, needs to be something that is balanced with your life. Okay, don't try to do everything at once, and really experiment before you put things out there. Okay, it's not that you need to be afraid, but that you really need to feel grounded enough before you present the fruits of your labor to other people, and explore the wild woman here represented by Baba Yaga. Okay, which means try to do some things that take you out of your comfort zone, some things that maybe you would normally be scared of doing, just to see how they feel and to see if they can explore, they can help you broaden your horizons. Okay, because this is a crossroads moment in which you're going to decide whether you want to keep on following advice from other people, keep on focusing on the material aspect of things, if you want to die the metaphorical death and be born again. Okay, and experiment this process of rebirth, in which you are actually the best version, or a newest and 2.0, 3.0 version of yourself. Okay, and then we have here Aphrodite bringing love, that the lovers in the tarot had already talked about. And we have motherhood. So consider this project like your baby, and protect your baby, because maybe the first time you've presented your project to the world, you didn't have it was hard for you to mother your baby, your creative baby, your brainchild, as an idea. Okay, but now you're strong enough, you can find your refuge, you can find the place where you're going to work creatively, you can experiment with many different things, and you can even try to enlarge your limits a bit, while leaving people who are unhelpful and the memories from your past experiences that you left behind. You can leave this behind. They do not have to traumatize you. It doesn't seem like the trauma was that strong, because you showed up in the game as someone strong enough to deal with that. You just need to organize your head and to have the courage to open this time and this space to practice your art before showing it to the world, whatever shape or form it's going to take. Okay, practice your craft, practice your art before showing it. Find this refuge to do that. Mother your idea. Okay, and never forget that the way to do that is having fun, playing, and following your heart, following what you love. Okay, this is Aphrodite talking about love. So again, I have a message on beauty and form that could lead you to whatever manipulation of texture. Okay, and also talking about beauty in terms of being an influencer of some sort, or writing texts about it, or working with pictures, and beauty, female beauty, male beauty, deconstructing beauty. Yeah, because I told you I was going to try to make this vocational. So again, I have sculpture, painting, I have reconstructing the image of beauty as possible themes for you to think about, to see if they resonate with you. And I also have luxury, again, represented in Aphrodite, okay? Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been useful, and I want to see your project, okay? So please, if you watch this reading, and once you feel ready to share it with the world, share it with me, okay? Thank you very much, and bye-bye.